Hi, everybody, and welcome to our analysis on MIT Sloan's essays for this year. My name is Liza Weale, and I'm a senior consultant here with mbaMission. I'm also an MIT Sloan grad, so I'm super excited to be here with you today to talk about these essay questions. We're going to talk about 4 different components of the application. They're not all essay questions. I'll give you that little headline right now. We're going to talk about the cover letter, the video statement, the interview-only essay, and the organizational chart. So let's jump in. First one, the cover letter. I'm going to read this. I know it's going to take some time, but it's important because there are a lot of clues as to what Sloan is looking for here in the question. So MIT Sloan seeks students whose personal characteristics demonstrate that they will make the most out of the incredible opportunities at MIT, both academic and non-academic. We are on a quest to find those whose presence will enhance the experience of other students. We seek thoughtful leaders with exceptional intellectual abilities and the drive and determination to put their stamp on the world. We welcome people who are independent, authentic, and fearlessly creative, true doers. We want people who can redefine solutions to conventional problems and strive to preempt unconventional dilemmas with cutting-edge ideas. We demand integrity and respect passion. Oof, it's a lot. Taking the above into consideration, please submit a cover letter seeking a place in the MIT Sloan MBA program. Your cover letter should conform to a standard business correspondence, include 1 or more examples that illustrate why you meet the desired criteria above, and be addressed to Mr. Rod Garcia, Senior Director of Admissions. All right. So that's a lot to put into a cover letter of 300 words or fewer. So let's talk about what you can do with that question. First off, obviously, maybe you can't say it all. Sloan is out of all the schools very demanding in terms of the number of words it allows you to tell your story. Every other school out there gives you more space, more words. At Sloan, you don't have a lot of space. You've got to be strategic, okay? This is it, 300 words or fewer to communicate via this cover letter. So you can't say it all, so what do you say? I really want you guys to use their words as clues in figuring out what story or perhaps stories to share. True doers. Solving problems, unconventional dilemmas, or better ways, improvements to conventional problems, right? They're looking for people who have integrity, passion, independence. These clues, these are words that you should be thinking about. I definitely encourage you to think about times when you've solved problems. Whether that was a problem you solved before it became an issue or something that's been, confusing people in the workplace, for example, for years, and you came up with a unique way to solve it. That's where, in general, I want you to start thinking about, okay? Note that they're looking for some specifics, not broad strokes. I think where I see people fall down with this cover letters is to tell a journey of what they've been up to in their career. But I suspect if you do that, you're not actually answering the question, right? You're not really showing them how you're this innovative problem solver. So you're more than likely, the journey approach is going to have you coming up short in this essay. Not always, but just, general. I want you to instead be going deep into examples. Sloan is really is a school that believes that what you've done in the past is the best predictor of your performance in the future. So you need to bring those really brilliant moments in the past to life in these few words that you're allotted. Ensure that the potential contribution is either implied or explicit. As I said, they're trying to identify people who will make the experience richer for other students. So make sure that whatever story you're telling, it's clear to see how this will be relevant to your classmates. You can be, if it's not implied in the story itself, you need to be explicit about it. You need to call out exactly why you're telling the story and why it's going to be relevant to your classmates. And also, you should think about relating your examples and qualities to the MIT Sloan experience. What do I mean here? If you talked about using technology to solve a problem on behalf of your clients, maybe you're going to, take that sort of role in your learning team with your classmates. Maybe you're going to get involved in the technology club. Maybe you're going to get involved in the hackathon, whatever it might be. But you might even want to extrapolate, okay, this is a story about it. I told you about what I've done in the past. Here's what it means for who I'm going to be at Sloan. Okay? That's it for the cover letter. It's a lot to do in 300 words. I definitely used more than 300 words to describe how you should tackle it. So use your words and your stories wisely. Okay? Let's go on to the video statement. Please introduce yourself to your future classmates via a brief 60-second video statement. This video will be used for application purposes only and will not be shared. Video should be a single take, no editing, lasting no more than 1 minute and consisting of you speaking directly into the camera. We recommend using an application such as QuickTime or iMovie to record yourself. Okay, so if you're like many people I speak to, this freaks you out. I don't want it to. This is super easy, guys. This is really Sloan's opportunity just to see you and hear from you directly as part of your application. I think we get used to sort of hiding ourselves behind words in the application, and this feels extremely vulnerable to actually do a video. Enjoy it. You are giving them this. Despite Sloan only giving you 300 words to do your cover letter, I think that they're giving you a real opportunity to actually see you talk and see who you are in a video. So embrace it. Don't be stressed. That's my first bullet here. This is easy. It's not stressful. Okay. Just know that they just want to see you. Another thing. So consider your audience. Again, I always look to the questions to give me clues. They say, imagine or introduce yourself to your future classmates. They're not saying introduce yourself to the admissions committee. I think that's really a strategic choice on their part, perhaps to free you up from feeling like you have to sell yourself to the admissions committee. Yes, you are, the admissions committee is seeing this video, but it's you introducing yourself to people who are going to be your friends, your peers, your future network. It shifts the way you might introduce yourself and takes the pressure on to sell yourself and maybe just focus on being a little bit more authentic. So to start, just think about how you would actually introduce yourself to someone who's, relatively your age, your peer set, whatever it might be. What are the things that you might want to call out to that person? And go beyond just like, here's my name and my job, right? It might be things that come up in the course of a conversation about your hobbies or where you grew up, or something that you're particularly proud of. Also, though, as you start to brainstorm ideas of what to include in this video, do remember what the admissions team already knows about you. So, for example, as I just said, they probably already know where you work. And if you, in the last essay, in the cover letter, told them about your biggest accomplishment at work was revamping the processing time at your plant, say, you don't want to mention that here in the video, that your biggest accomplishment was when you revamped the processing time at the plant at the company you work for, right? Because they already know that from the cover letter. So once you've actually brainstormed of how you'd actually introduce yourself, think about the things that they already know and ixnay them, forget about that stuff and focus on the things they don't know. Keep it very you. I put the you in quotations here because I was going to write keep it very simple, but you actually might be somebody who wants to be a little bit creative, in which case I say embrace it carefully. But if you're not creative, don't worry. Keep it really simple. Just talk to the camera. They are used to just seeing what, a talking head speaking engagingly with the camera, saying hello. That's fine. However, if there is something that's important to you, let's say, this is an example we use often, but let's say you cook all the time. You're a huge baker, and it's integral to who you are and the celebrations when you bring your family together, whatever. Maybe in that case, you do the video in your kitchen. Maybe you're wearing a chef's hat if you ever wear one. For me personally, I don't mind being a little dorky when I express myself. You might have already gotten that. If you aren't, don't do it that way. The most important thing is to keep it and be very you. And don't worry if you're just talking to the camera. That's fine. Don't go over the top and be way too creative. They want to see you. That's the focus. No over rehearsal on this, guys. This should not sound scripted. This should not sound bland. Hello, my name is Liza Weale. I'm a senior. None of that, right? This should feel authentic. It's okay if you stumble or you miss a word here or there, just like I did right then. But you do want to speak clearly. I encourage you, even though they don't want any editing, they want you to take one single take. That does not mean you can't do a do-over. So I do want you to do it watch it again. Make sure you can understand every single word. There's nothing more frustrating than watching a video, somebody's talking quietly and mumbling, and because we've missed absolutely everything. Speak clearly, watch yourself, but don't over-rehearse it, because then it's just going to sound very monotonous. All right, 2 more elements. And these are a little bit different. So this first one is the interview-only essay. So as it sounds, it's only intended for those who are invited to interview. So this is one case you'll actually want the additional essay, because that means you're invited to interview with Sloan. So those invited to interview will be asked to answer one of the following, or answer the following question. The mission of the MIT Sloan School of Management is to develop principled, innovative leaders who improve the world and to generate ideas that advance management practice. We believe that a commitment to diversity, inclusion, equity, and well-being is a key component of both principled leadership and sound management practice. In 250 words or less, please describe how you, as a member of the MIT Sloan community, would work to create a campus that is welcoming, inclusive, and increasingly diverse. Okay, that's the question. And again, you will get this, you will be notified of this at the same time when you receive word that you've been invited to interview with Sloan, which will be great. Okay, my advice here. People often think this is, I got to show them how much I know about Sloan and all these awesome clubs that I'm going to involve myself. I'm going to be a member of the Sloan SWIM, the Sloan Women in Management. You know, I'm going to do the MIT 10K or 100K, whatever these things might be. This is not a laundry list of clubs or classes. That's not what they're looking for. Okay, so think about the 1 or 2 ways really where you see yourself contributing. Okay, zero in. No more than 2, maybe 3. I cannot see more than 3, and even 3 is a stretch, I think. Communicate your contribution. What do I mean here? So participating in the club, joining SWIM, the Sloan Women in Management, for example, that's not showing what my contribution is, right? I really want you to think about, envision yourself on campus. What initiatives within the club will you take on? What things will you do? And always go back to how will this create, be inclusive? How will it create or support diversity? Think about those elements, but go further than just saying, I'll be a member of a club. We want to see, remember that the cover letter, true doers. We want to see what you're doing there. Explain the why and the how behind your intentions. Why are you gravitating towards whatever it is you're gravitating towards, right? Perhaps it's been an area of focus. Perhaps entrepreneurship is actually really where you're passionate about, and you've struggled in the past at launching your app into a full-fledged business. So that's one of the reasons you want to get involved in so many entrepreneurial activities at Sloan. If you skip the initial part of, I haven't really successfully ever brought an app to fruition, I've really struggled there, now it makes sense, right? Now we understand why this area is one that you're really going to contribute in. Give reassurance that your intentions are likely to come to fruition. So for example, perhaps you want to bring, you're thinking about a new app that is going to make it easier for more people to do something. I don't know what that is. You'll figure it out when you're at Sloan. I'm convinced of it. But so maybe you're going to organize a conference. Well, if you have room, you might want to think about, well, how do I prove to them that I can actually do a conference? Oh yeah, at work this one time, it wasn't on entrepreneurship, but I gathered everybody for this this fundraising event that we have once a year, and it went amazingly well because of some of the things that I did, whatever it might be. But there, all of a sudden now, as the reader, I start to believe that, oh yeah, this person can actually run a conference because they've done it in the past, right? So part of this is getting them to believe your statements and to find credibility that you are going to be who you say you're going to be at Sloan. Okay. All right. Last one, guys, the organizational chart. This is the first for Sloan, and I think, as far as I know, it's one of the very few schools that has such a question, if not the only one. They want an org chart. Please upload an organizational chart which outlines the internal structure of your department and company. Note, you may choose to create your own document or redact individuals' names. However, please include as much information as possible. We should be able to see your line of reporting to the top of your organization and to easily find you, your peers, your supervisor, their peers, and your direct reports, as well as any other recommenders from your current organization. Okay, so you have to do an org chart. Guys, this is not an essay. It's just a factual question. They're just looking for the facts. This isn't anything you need to interpret. This isn't something you need to strategize on. You need to answer the question. You need to give them an org chart. You also need to make sure that they can see your supervisor, any other recommenders, your peers, your supervisor's peers, how you flow up to the CEO, the person all the way on the top. You have a job to do in this. There's not really any wiggle room. Keep it easy. Keep it simple for them to get. Include the relevant details. Don't try to hide things. Don't try to cover up that maybe you're not asking your direct supervisor to write your recommendation. If that's the case, two things. Be very transparent about who you're asking, how they fit into the picture and to you in that org chart, and explain why you're not asking your current supervisor in a very brief statement in the optional essay. Explain that to Sloan. So all I want you guys to do here is note, like, this might give you some anxiety submitting an org chart, but it shouldn't, because you are in that situation. You have it. You have all the facts. You just need to relay the facts to Sloan. And they do have an example in the online application that you can use to help guide, like, okay, what this actually might look like. Okay. The one other thing I'll say here is sometimes I know consultants might be intimidated by such a question because they always, consultants, you move from manager to manager depending on the project. That's okay. Just make it, you can make that all clear on an org chart. You can explain how your two recent managers fit into the overall pool of managers, how they flow up. So you're going to find reasons to think that this is difficult. Keep it simple. They just want to understand who you are in the organization and how the people around you fit in as well. Okay? All right, guys. So that's it for MIT Sloan essays for this year, the cover letter, the video statement, the interview-only essay, and the org chart. I wish you guys the best of luck. Two thoughts. Number one, actually it might be more than two. Number one, download our Insider's Guide on MIT Sloan if you haven't. This will help you really get to know those resources at Sloan so you can better articulate how your contributions will matter at Sloan and the things that you will get involved in at Sloan are. Okay? That's critical. Number two, reach out to us. If you're still feeling like, gosh, I have no idea what to do here, sign up for a free consultation with us. Definitely, I love to talk to anybody applying to Sloan. It's an amazing school and certainly transformative. So sign up for a free consultation, 30 minutes of time with us to answer whatever questions you might have on your mind about this process. We also are here to partner with you any step along the way, very beginning to what topics to include, to how do I handle the actual interview, to, oh gosh, I'm on the wait list. What do I do? But that's it. So we're here, and definitely check us out if we can be of assistance in this journey. But I wish you guys good luck. I'm always rooting for people that are applying to Sloan, and you can let us know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.